Okay, I want to preface this video by saying that not every game I have on this list was released in 2024. I am sure it's obvious if you saw the thumbnail, but I thought I'd mention it just in case, because there's always that one guy, you know. If I only did 2024 games, the list would look very small. I'm not about to spend $70 on mediocre games, I'm sorry. Not. Anyways, I caught up on some of my backlog, so I played quite a lot of games last year, and I thought I'd share my top 10 favorites. First, however, I thought I'd mention some of the games that I played that didn't make the top 10. Tekken 8. I'm not really into fighting games, I've only played Strive and Smash, but this one was pretty good. Really soured it with the whole microtransactions and Battle Pass fiasco. The Sphere incident. This was my first Tekken game, and it was really fun from the 80 or so hours that I poured into it. Hades is a fantastic roguelike experience and one of the best games I've played. However, the bulk of the game was played in 2023 and the finale of the game was in 2024. I cannot count it. As someone who isn't a Warhammer fan, Space Marine 2 was surprisingly fun. The visuals were stunning and the gameplay was awesome. Captain Titus is literally me. My friend Vuppet and I played through the campaign, and apart from the giant elevator mission being glitched, we had tons of fun. Didn't touch the multiplayer though. Project Eve, Stellar Blade, big ass cheeks. I wanted to love this game, but I just ended up liking it. The gameplay was the best part in my opinion. It's kind of like Sekiro, but not as refined or as good. The story and the lore kind of just bored me, but again, that's just my opinion. The music is wonderful. They got the Nier composer to make half of the songs, and he always cooks. I'm delighted to see a gacha company making an effort in making legitimate games and hope to see them succeed in the future. Inscription is so fucking good. The first act, that is. I didn't really jive with the second or third act. You're in a cabin with a serial killer and you're forced to play a card game. It's a fun one for sure, and I do recommend buying it. If you haven't played it, you'll definitely love the twists and turns this game has. Animal Well is a donkey game, and I'm glad he chose this game as his first published game because it's a fun ass puzzle game. A Metroidvania where you play as a little blob while solving really creative puzzles. Figuring some of these out made me feel good about myself. The fucking cat dog thing, that shit was terrifying. Didn't know it was a horror game. I'm glad it did well, and I hope Donkey can publish more in the future. I played Mario Wonder and 3D World with my sister before I moved out. I enjoyed both of them, but out of the two, Wonder was just slightly better because of the drug flowers that had unique effects on every level. I still enjoyed 3D World, but my sister hated the DLC only because she played Junior. If you played Bowser's Fury co-op and you were the second player, you would know what I'm talking about. You fucking useless child! Okay, yes, both are good games, and I mean, it's hard to fuck up Mario. Demon's Souls was a good Souls game, but not my favorite out of all the others. I'm glad another studio made a competent Souls game. Played Stardew with my friend and exploited a glitch. Got married. Like, that will ever happen. We'll definitely play more this year. Metro 2033 was awesome. A post-apocalyptic world where you traverse through the subway lines. It's a cool ass game, man. I still have Artyom burned into my head, and I can't wait to play the others this year. I played God of War 2018 last year, and I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. Perhaps I should have played 1 through 3 first, but well, too late now. The game's combat is alright, probably should have kept the hack and slash of the original 3. It's all about the story, and unfortunately didn't really hook me until the late game. The story was good overall though. There was some pacing issues and a lot of walking. However, walking around the world and going to different realms, it was beautiful to see. God of War fans, don't take it personally, I'm just stupid. All my credibility here is lost when I talk about my #1 game. And lastly, for our runner-ups, the best game that came out this year. Shadow of the Erdtree is a beautiful masterpiece. From Software always cooks on their games, and this is objectively their peak. Everything they've learned from their previous games and the base game of Elden Ring all into one bundle of peak. As soon as I ran out of the cave and into the gravesite plane, I came right then and there. Like the base game, you get so lost easily in its beautiful world where the art direction adds that much more to it. The areas are well designed and just fun to navigate. Except the finger ruins, that's a fucking exception. These guys piss me off. And of course, you can't forget the boss fights. Dancing Lion, peak. Mesmer, peak. Rolana, peak. Bale! Vile Bale! Peak. Meteor, peak. Mitra, peak. Gaius. Bro thinks he's on the team. Radon, close to peak. My complaint for this DLC is the replayability of it. The Shadow Tree fragments that you have to go around and collect are fun the first time, but yeah, by the second time, you're gonna have to run around again with your video guide or image pulled up to just have a chance with the DLC. I guess it is the same as replaying base Elden Ring with setting up and shit, but I don't know, it's just not as fun. Either way, I cannot recommend the DLC enough. I mean, you already know I'm a FromSoft beat writer. Anyways, why is it not on the list? Well... DLC! Okay, enough stalling. Let's get to the top 10. This game just barely came out in December, but it's on my fucking list. I miss Overwatch, okay?
Monsieur, does this mean Overwatch is back?
No.
I don't even like Marvel, but oh my god, Rivals is so much fucking fun. My friend and I downloaded the game after I saw quite a lot of talk about it. We thought it would be a game we'd play for like a week and then drop it, but yeah, we've stuck around still. The gameplay of it is so much fun. The abilities they have would make an Overwatch dev cry. This game has a few balancing issues and nothing severe like what this was. They also said they would not add role queue, and thank fuck. They're also adding 4 new characters within 2 months. That's insane. Overwatch would never. It would seem like a balancing nightmare. I can't imagine what League is like. Okay, no more Overwatch beyond this point. There are so many ways to play the game, so many team comps that you can have. God, I love those who play healer. The art style is so fucking stylish. The character designs, oh yeah. Squirrel Girl's in-game model has what now?
Clit.
The monetization kind of sucks, but at least you can see your character, and they do have good skins. I also wish they added more maps, but obviously they're going to add more in the future. I definitely like this game, even if it's been like a month or 2 since it has released. So as you could tell, I'm a sucker for team shooters. Hey, I said I wouldn't show it again. Fuck! Resident Evil 4 2005. They made this game 2005 more times. Okay, I played RE2 Remake and RE4 OG this year, and out of the two, I like the OG RE4 more. It's a fun action puzzle game with a little bit of spooky sections. The puzzles were fun, and slowly upgrading your arsenal throughout the game to become stronger was pretty awesome. I love the setting of it, except, well, fuck Spain. It's funny knowing Spanish because there's this one voice line. And in Latin America, well, yeah. I didn't really like Ashley that much. I kind of find her annoying.
Help me, Leon! Help! Leon! No!
And of course, Luis, he dies. Luis! I wasn't the biggest fan of the island part. It just felt like another game, to be honest. These guys are terrifying. And I like the boss fights, especially Krauser and Sadler. I'm going to be playing more Resident Evil this year, and I'm excited to see what it has in store for me. The PEGI 18 indie game that took the world by storm. For someone who doesn't know anything about poker, the game just seems daunting. However, the game is so simple and it just eases you in and eventually you get it. It has nothing to do with poker besides what the cards look like and like the hands and stuff. The game plays so well, the animations are so smooth, the jokers are so fun. There's so much variety with the jokers, you can combo them into making the numbers go up, and well, big numbers make brain happy. I mean, what else is there to say? Everyone has heard of it already, and it's just an addicting ass game to play. I highly recommend it on mobile if you're a student or just working. It's a fun game to play on break. Oh yeah, Devil May Cry 5, you hack and slash and flick and flash and blue and black, and oh, it feels so good. This is what hack and slashes should strive to be. Combat is so silky smooth and it's so goofy. Everything is absurd. The fucking van just coming out of nowhere to sell you shit. You got Dante just not caring at all. I love the characters, man. Dante's as good as he was in 3, a little goofy boy. Nero is more serious, but he got that Dante rubbing off of him. V is a fucking edgelord. He's a new addition, probably won't be in 6, but I wouldn't mind. He's just the 2010s E-boy. He's great. There's a boss fight in almost every level. The ending fight where you fight the guy twice. Oh, fuck yeah. The soundtrack as well. It's music you could definitely show a non-video game fan if they love metal. I'm excited to see the new anime coming, but unfortunately it won't be on Osama bin Laden's hard drive this time. Disco Elysium. If I had a nickel for every 2019 indie game focused on good narrative and fun exploration, I would have 2 nickels, which... Okay, I'm done. Disco is one of those games where you're deceived into thinking this is just another detective game, but it's just so much more layered. Harry Dubois, the protagonist, is a broken man. You constantly hear his struggles, his inner monologue in every interaction. Kim, your partner in crime throughout this game. He's a sensible man, trying his hardest to make do of the mess Harry is. He's constantly helping and he's just a funny guy all around. The overarching story, the lore behind the town Revachol, the little things you wouldn't suspect, the NPCs that bring this little slice of town feel alive. Your morality, your choices that determine how people think of you and what kind of man you become at the end. The interesting side quests, the one with the cryptid man, oh my god. And of course the politics of everything. It doesn't feel boring because they actually make politics enjoyable. It all converges into the end where I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just so good, and if you did that one side quest, it's just beautiful. It's a shame we won't get a Disco 2 or something similar since the studio shut down, but I love this game and I cannot recommend it enough. This is what a live service game should be. A fun game that doesn't make microtransactions the basis of it. What Arrowhead did was make a good game. Oh my god, it's really that simple, huh? The gameplay is simple, but the loop doesn't feel that repetitive. There's quite a lot of weaponry you can use, and while others are better on certain enemies, there's still so much more variety. My favorite strat is getting the shield generator and going out of bounds so I get bombed for trying to abandon the mission and just bombing everything in my sight until I eventually get killed by my own bombs. There's so much fun to be had, especially with your friends. This is one of the best games you could play with your buddies, and especially when you're goofing off and just autopiloting the entire mission. That's the stuff I love. Missions get tense sometimes. It doesn't feel easy, but not impossible like what difficulty 4 to 5 scientist missions were when the game was released. If you know, you know. There was one major issue for me, and no, it wasn't the PSN account because I was on PS5. Although yeah, Sony fucking sucks for that. It was the balancing for a couple months. They nerfed a lot of weapons and it just made the game unfun because there were very few viable options. It baffled me that a PvE game got so many nerfs instead of just buffing every weapon nobody used. Thank God for the 60-day plan that made every weapon actually viable, and kudos to Arrowhead for actually listening to community feedback. Now for my favorite game that released in 2024, Yakuza 8. If you have watched my previous videos, you can tell I'm a big Yakuza fan, and they didn't disappoint in this entry, except, yeah, a little bit. I'll explain later. We got Ichiban the lovable goofball and Kiryu Kazuma the legendary main protagonist of the previous game, and they come together as two main characters. I'm not that big into RPGs because of how long they take, but oh man, Infinite Wealth made those 70 hours feel way less. The gameplay is a major improvement from 7, and dare I say probably the best turn-based RPG I've ever played, period. I haven't played much turn-based though, as you can tell. The simple change of being able to move around just adds so much more depth. All the goofy moves that the characters have and all the different jobs you can assign, the different weapon types, it doesn't get boring. The music slaps as always. If you've listened to previous Yakuza songs, oh, it doesn't disappoint. I love this game's soundtrack so fucking much. The side quest. Yakuza is universally known for its absurd side quests, and this time around, it's the same. You got a guy taking pictures of half-naked men, one where you participate in a kind of escape room for TV.
I understood that reference.
The one where you try to find the existence of UFOs, but it's just a giant killer Roomba. One where you try not to get run over and it's all for a movie. The one where the baby man helps a husband help his dying wife fulfill one last wish, which unironically is the best side quest in the game. The main side stuff like Pokemon or Animal Crossing, I'm not joking, you play those games inside this one. Everything to make it the best game of the year. But my main issue was the story. If you played every mainline Yakuza game like I have, I can't be the only one that was disappointed with this narrative. I obviously don't want to spoil anything, but after chapter 8 you can definitely feel that. The villains are some of the weakest in the series and just don't make sense for both protagonists. This is supposed to be Kiryu's last game, and while yes, it was wonderful to see all the memories and all the life links, it just doesn't feel like a proper send-off. I wish they made it just a standalone game for Kiryu as the finale, because Ichiban gets pushed aside in his own game. Ichiban doesn't grow, it's just more of the same. I gotta stop rambling, you get the idea. Now why is this my favorite game that came out this year? Because it's fun. And also Yakuza bias. Cyberpunk 2077 is the shit show that broke everyone back in 2020. This game was one of the most hyped up games of all time, and oh, you already know what happened. However, the anime revived it and the game actually got good. Playing it in 2024, the game is actually playable and it's fun. Sure, there was a couple of glitches here and there, but apart from that, the story just sucks you in. The first act leaves you anticipating what kind of story will go on from there and all the cool shit the game throws at you. The side quests were fun. I try to do them all, and the world, oh my god, there's a reason why this game is always shown off for like GPU comparison videos, because yeah, it's fucking beautiful. Sometimes the male fantasy is driving around in a luxury car with the radio blasting. My favorite mission was the Arasaka parade, where you have to take out the snipers. The whole level design is just a spectacle. Oh my god, this mission was so good. The characters as well, they feel like real people with well-written stories. You actually like these guys. It all just immerses you in. It hardly ever breaks it unless there's a glitch. I do wish the lifestyle path you chose actually mattered, because all it does is change some of the first act and a couple dialogue choices. But apart from that, Cyberpunk has redeemed itself. I'm currently playing through its DLC Phantom Liberty. Would love to see a Cyberpunk 2, and hopefully it doesn't get released half-assed again. I'm late to the party, but at the beginning of the year I played through Hollow Knight. I tried to play it a couple of years ago but couldn't get into it, and now I decided I would play it in 2024. And oh, past me missed out big time. This is the modern Metroidvania. You're just a little creature of joy. You get to Dirtmouth and go down the hole, and oh, you just get lost. But by the 20-hour mark, you're like, there's still more? By the 30-hour mark, you get to the Path of Pain just for a little bit of lore, but you don't give a shit. You conquered this bullshit mess of a level design that's actually good. The combat is just on point. It's simple, but you get more items and more abilities to help you just make the game more fun. The beginning of the game is slow, and a reason why I dropped it initially, but sticking through it was the best decision. The world building, the level design, the art style. Ari Gibson might actually be him. The boss fights, the music, the combat and abilities, all the fun secrets, and the ending makes it so much better. There's a reason why this game is considered one of the best indies of all time, and I cannot wait for Silksong to release in maybe like 10 years. The subreddit for Hollow Knight has completely lost it, and I understand. Team Cherry's communication is like a Redditor asking for relationship advice. Now for the best game I've played this year. You saw the thumbnail and it's quite obvious. Red Dead Redemption 2. What's there to say? I think everyone has played this game before. In the beginning, it just immerses you in the story by having it take place a few months after a failed heist. You don't know what happened there, but you get the clues that it didn't go well. You never find out what happened, but it doesn't matter, as the story sees the fall of Dutch's gang, to them rising, to them falling again. And it all leads to one of the most beautiful and tragic endings in video game history. American Venom is the best mission hands down, for what it accomplishes, for what it stands for the payoff of everything that happened previously. Red Dead 2 has an empty world, which yeah, is expected in an open world game, but in this one there's a lot. The mountains have nothing besides a few interactions and a horse, but you go back there anyways because you want to admire the beauty of it. They absolutely went all out on the budget, and it shows. The landscapes are stunning, and it shows off the American scenery from snow to plains to marsh to forest to desert, and it's so relaxing to ride your horse around while in all of the art direction and graphics, while the beautiful music and sound effects play. It's so rare to want to explore a world with nothing to gain, but Rockstar nails it. The small interactions like the honor system greetings or the NPCs reacting to you. The gang feels alive, the small animation stuff, the performance they give, their small little arcs. You expect some to get pushed to the side, but you spend time with these people to get to know them and you start feeling attached. The side quests, they're nothing special, but they are. They're also unique and so fun. My favorite was hunting down the disappearing dwarf that's part of a sideshow. As you could tell, I love this game. A heavily story-based game. So the gameplay is very outdated. The gameplay is nothing special. I mean, the slowdown time is probably the best part, and yes, the Rockstar formula is outdated, but you're not really playing it for the gameplay. It's to experience the story, to experience the world, to experience all these little things, to experience a one-in-a-lifetime game. Red Dead 2 is my game of the year, and I am so happy it is. Except maybe Shadow the Erdtree. I'm still glazing FromSoft. And that's my list. Perhaps some of you might disagree with the list, and yeah, that's fine. I'd love to know what your favorite games of 2024 were. I'm not doing this for engagement, no, I'm genuinely serious. I love watching these types of videos and that's part of the reason why I made this one. I love gaming. Many will tell you it's dead, but I still have so much more to play. This year I plan to play these games. Okay, I know it's bad not playing it, but hey, at least I'm playing them now. Also, thanks for the support on the last video. I am speechless on how well it did. This video is a one-off until next year's list. I wanted to do something more relaxing with editing, and since I've always wanted to make a Game of the Year video, I thought it would be good. Anyways, thank you for 2,000 subs, and the next video will be on Fortnite, everyone's favorite. Okay, I'm done. See you strugglers later.